trauma, through what we call PTSD, and sometimes people get really anxious, or they don't sleep well, or they can't, things bother them and they're kind of stuck on it. And what we do out here is we help them with that in a different way than maybe they were getting help at other ways. And there's lots of ways to help people. This one works pretty well. Now you feel that? Guess where the other boy is? He's a boy, and Waffles is a boy. And as far as he knows, he's like a huge stallion. So I wasn't paying attention, but then it picked up on it. He started talking to the other one, and he didn't listen, and then he started getting, and then I'm like, hey, I about got kicked. And it wouldn't have been his fault. You know whose fault it would have been? No, mine, for not paying attention. It's never the horse's fault. I've only been successfully kicked by him once, and he's not mean. He's not doing anything wrong. There's no judgment here. That was just me not paying attention. What if we took that principle in like other areas of our life? What if we just kind of didn't think too hard about things and just sort of opened our mind up to, you know, just being present in the moment. I had a woman come out yesterday who's been working around horses for her whole life. And I said, so that, by the way, girls talk too. Okay, so maybe I overdid the ice cream. Whose fault is that? Not their fault. Really, it's mine. Let's pull the ice cream away for a little bit. You want to take that back and set it over there? Let's look at their ears. So her ears are inquisitive. Her ears are back. Not in an aggressive way, but in a like, I want the ice cream. Now these two get along, and they'll always get along because they're mother and daughter.
Oh wow. Okay. So
that relationship is different than Gypsy, who's not blood related, but friends. Okay. They're in the same herd. Wow, you know, they just give you the show every time anyway. Like
You're killing it, Sean. You're killing it.
It's always going to be there. Anyway, the point I was getting at with the horses is they're non-judgmental. They'll accept you as long as you are in the right state, or we help you get in that right state. And then you can really create this relationship. And it doesn't take 40 visits over 6 years of your life. It doesn't take medication. It takes learning and understanding, having an open mind, and then doing it a little bit. So, all right. How many? I didn't even count how many new horse members we had. There's a lot.
There's 15 little ones.
15?
I think if I counted it right.
Wow, this herd just got big. So horses love to play. That's where I was going before with that. So we had a little extra freebie show there. And they like to learn. They actually like to help. It's really cool. And so sometimes we'll have a visitor come out, and we'll just let them go into one of the open spaces, and we let the horse pick the person. Really interesting. Because once they're fed and happy, and they don't feel threatened, then they're inquisitive, and then they actually want to learn and help. It's really, I don't know about that. There's being horses. And that's where the journey really begins. And so, all across America and around the world, there are 600 programs for horses and humans. 600. Pretty cool. And there are programs where some kids that have like special needs or have harder challenges get to have repeated exposure, and sometimes that communication's a little slower, but it's still going on. And the value and what, like, when they leave, it just puts a smile on them. But it does a lot more than that too. It teaches them things and it lets them communicate, especially kids with like autism. You can kind of imagine. Yeah, look at him. He's like, I know there's more carrots. Oh, my hair, my beautiful mane hung up. So we're going to get rid of this barbed wire, but we temporarily put it up because we're going to double this gate. So nobody likes excuses, but I had to get something else or they would be running you over right now. Oh, I mentioned that a woman came by yesterday, super gifted, awesome, wants to volunteer. She's been around horses. And I said, okay, well, let me show you how we feed them. Because when you come through the gate, what are you? Horse. Oh, you guys learn. You've been around horses a long time. She was really uneasy. And I said, let me guess. Spent a lot of time in a barn with stalls. Well, yeah, that's how we feed them. That's what we do. And I used to do that too.
See that horse down there?
Yeah. But what I also did was carry like thousands of wheelbarrows full of horse manure. Horses don't want to live in a stall. They want to run. If Mother Nature wanted to live in the stall when they had them, they'd drop them out with the stall intact, right? So they don't behave the same way if they're stuck in a cage.
Kind of like
humans. Right, yeah. And so anyway, it was really fascinating because I had to be a horse too and go, oh wow, this horse has never been a horse. The human horse had not really, when it comes to feeding, because when you see them feed, you can really start seeing how they communicate and what's going on, and lots to learn and have fun with. So we had a good laugh about it. It was pretty funny. And she goes, well, maybe I'll do it with you, because then here's this woman who's really comfortable around horses. And we were only with like, 6 or 7 at the time. And it was interesting. So out here we've got about 30 acres. We got about 25-ish. Actually, no, 22-ish. There's a piggy pasture. We got the rest here. And there's some trails throughout the whole property. There's a barn way back in there. And there's separate areas where we're going to do separate kinds of fun work with folks and have fun. As far as fitness goes, when it's not a swamp, there's a lot of fun places to do some fitness and go running on the trails. I did find out from my insurance company that until I get everybody to sign waivers, ain't nobody gets to go running with horses, and I'm like, well, that's good. There is a skill there, and so probably not going to let any kids do that for all the right reasons.
Thank you for that.
But going on the trails and walking, and you've got kids running and PTing, we can separate them and they can pet the horse on the way in and the way out and all that good stuff. But that's a really cool space out here. I did a lot of fitness in the Army and played sports and all that good stuff.
You did?
I did. I know. Now look at me now. I'm like, but there's a lot of good outdoor fitness. So I did all that growing up, and I'm a big believer in a little bit of nature when you do fitness too. So we've welcomed these guys to come out, and if they can create a fun little once a week or every other week experience. Amen. Ooh, what's that? Yeah, I was hoping it would be our neighborhood bald eagle, but it wasn't. By the way, he or she, I'm not sure which it is, flies a little higher, but it's funny when I started working on this 3 years ago and getting this going, owls,
Ospreys.
there's all kinds, when we put the drinking holes in, all these ducks showed up, and then we put some fish in there to keep the mosquitoes down, and then all the like blue herrings and all these predatory birds came in. I couldn't believe how many just came out of nowhere. It was awesome. So nature showed up, rabbits took off, And then rabbits disappeared and a million birds of prey showed up. I'm like, so much for the rabbits. We put all the grass in. I didn't have the horses here yet. And we had all these deer and rabbits and a couple wild hogs, which is really kind of fun because there's like a subdivision right there. But yeah, that's the summary of what we're doing. I could talk a long time and I won't talk anymore.